welcome back to Zeke's Lunchbox. So today we are doing the Zeke's April Art Challenge. Very clunky name, I know. We might call it Zach, I'm not sure. I wanted to get to it and not focus on the name. I know the name's clunky. April Art Challenge. I'm going to try and draw every single day for the month. Hey, wait, backtrack. I'm assuming everybody watching knows what's happening. And if you watched a video from last week where I announced the challenge, we are doing an art challenge because we are all adjusting to our new lives in Ms. Rona's world. And she is forcing us to stay inside and make some art pretty much. So I know a lot of you really want to make art at the moment, so that's what we're gonna do. And I feel like this art challenge is like good companionship and some really good opportunities for some community. If you haven't already, there is a Facebook group where we will be chatting about all of our art ventures, and I will be posting every single day for each prompt. So make sure you join that, and here is the password for that. Link in the description. So today is day one. We're gonna get to it. I have no idea how I'm gonna do this, to be quite honest. I've never done an art challenge because I have always found it really intimidating and just way too much. So I'm going to not put too much pressure on each drawing. I'm just really gonna have a lot of fun and not take too long with it as well. I don't wanna spend a whole day on this. I kind of just wanna draw like half an hour every single day as a warm up or a cool down in between other paintings that I'm working on. So it's also a really good excuse for me to finally finish this sketchbook. So hopefully by the end of the month, we have a sketchbook tour as well. If you haven't watched the other video where I announced the challenge, it's spread into 4 weeks and each day is kind of meant to build upon the other, but feel free to drop in and out because it is a lot of work, to be quite honest. So today is day one and we are doing blobs. The first 7 days are more about mark making, and then week 2 is about textures. 3 is meant to be about, lighting, and then 4 is figures. I'm doing mark making, but you don't have to. I'm just doing this because it's like a nice way to play around with some mediums, but I have been seeing other people have been interpreting the prompts differently. That's totally fine. It's your art. You can do what you want with it. But I'm gonna do some mark making today and just play around with some colors and see how that goes. So let's do day 1 and then I'll check in with you guys as we go. I might have a breakdown in week 3. We'll see. TBD. Let's do it. Okay, so, I basically just like went hard and went right in it, but I think what is happening right now is I put too much yellow down. So right now I'm just trying to like cover it up because I do that quite often in my sketchbooks, to be honest. I make a mess and then clean it up and then make a mess and then clean it up, you know? Angle you down so you know what I'm doing. I like the yellow here because it's kind of playing off the colors of this lass, but I'm not quite liking it over here because it feels like this page is a lot cooler. So I'm just gonna erase the yellow on this side, but I am quite liking the green. I think the greens are like tying in, but I just have to decipher what green I want to use. I'm liking the layered look as well. I also dragged some of the watercolor over on this side, so I have to clean that up too. But because I don't want to spend too much time on each drawing, I feel like that is really forcing me to be like quick and not fluff around too much. Just gonna clean this up, wait for it to dry, and then have some more playtime. Morning, everybody. It is day 2, which means it is repetition day, or the prompt for today is repetition. So just gonna get straight into it because I've got quite a busy day and I've got a lot of stuff to do. So I just want to warm up, cram in as much art as possible. I have an idea of what I want to do today, but yeah, we shall see. Okay, so I feel like I definitely could have explored repetition or the theme a little bit more or further. I don't know. I could have explored it in a different way, and I think just putting some shapes over a portrait's a little bit obvious and easy, but hey, this is the project. I don't know. The idea of doing another just mark making piece, it just feels like it doesn't really render results that show my capabilities. Always had problems with mark making. I think it's actually really difficult to come up with new things, playful ideas, and you really only come up with those ideas with experimentation. And I definitely think I could have, I don't know, played around with more mark making. That was my goal anyway. I quite like how the shapes came out surrounding the hair. It's kind of cool having that negative space there. I wish I had another hexagonal stencil that was bigger so I could abstract more areas. But from what I learnt in yesterday's task, I quite liked the layering effect that I was experimenting with. So that's why I'm trying to find some pages in my sketchbook that are a little bit more empty to build up some kind of layering effect. I found it there was something mysterious about having lots of different layers, and yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to play around with the most in this session. But because I am running out of time, this is just what it's gotta be, you know? I think I need to go in with some of this just to highlight a couple of bits that have maybe fallen behind. This area here, I think needs to be outlined a little bit more and pushed forward. Quite like the idea of erasing some parts. So going over that eye, I know that this white dries quite translucent with a bit of water, so I'm not too worried about losing that detail too much. Hello, so it's day 3. Wait, is it? Yeah, day 3, it's the 3rd of April. Haha, that's convenient and obvious. I got a little bit ahead of the curve with this piece, with my circle piece. Here it is. Yeah, I worked on it quite late, from 11 to about midnight last night. I think painting around that time, just before bed, I don't know, sometimes I have a big burst of energy or something, so I don't like to consider myself an evening person, but sometimes I do enjoy just listening to music and painting in the evening. So I might continue that tradition. I have been doing these prompts in the morning, and I don't know, I've been feeling they've been disrupting my day a little bit too much, and it's taking away from painting what I actually really need to be painting, which is the tarot card project. If you are new here and you found me through the prompt art challenge on Instagram and you're heading over to YouTube, I'm working on a tarot card deck. I kind of just need to prioritize my time in that as much as possible. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this one today. Yesterday's I wasn't too happy with, but whatever, that's, you know, there's always tomorrow. So happy with this one. I'm excited to do square over on this side later this evening. And then we've got the 2-color and then the 3-color challenge. So don't know, it might be nice to like really think about my color palettes and how succinct they can be. So not much else to report, that's it. We'll get to painting this evening. I'm gonna cheat a little bit, and I think I need to just batch a couple of the drawings together. I'm gonna try and do square and then day 5's prompt, which is 2 colors. So I just think it's been so disruptive in my days, and I need to still work on so many other things. So I'd like to do a couple of drawings, photograph them, and then I need to try and post in the mornings on Instagram because I need to get all the people over in the US. I need them to see it. So I think it might be a little bit late in the afternoon, so I have to wait until this evening to post. In Australia, so there's that. I am finding it's really disrupting my days and my evenings, and I'm just finding it really hard to squeeze in the time for this challenge, and I'm sure so many of you are as well. I just have to quote unquote cheat and just use my time more efficiently and batch up a couple of drawings. So I drew 2 drawings yesterday. I drew this one last night. This is for square, and then this one's going to be a very simple rose. Again, I don't want to spend too much time on this challenge because it's not really about pumping out like incredible work. It's more about experimentation, having fun, seeing what works and what doesn't. It's more about like churning out ideas and getting practice with your mediums, you know? So I'm hoping that's what you guys are getting out of it. Just by like drawing in my sketchbook every single day, it's become, I don't know, I feel like I've really loosened up, and it's really nice just being able to like get idea after idea after idea out onto a piece of paper. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do now. It's 1:30 currently, and I'm gonna have lunch soon because it is 1:30, and then Drag Race comes out, so I need to like spend an hour watching that, but then I will have 2 days worth of drawings to post. So cut to time lapse. Hello everyone. So I have been having a lot of fun just playing around with photos and composition and arranging things. I think today is one of my best ones. So it's day 7, and you can see the little die here have 7 as well. I'm just trying to find like lots of compositional things that work together. I think it's just been really fun to do as like a little composition exercise. So I'm gonna edit these photos, and then we're done. We're done for week 1. Week 1 done. Okay, everybody. Week 1, bang, bang, done. Week 1 is done. We did it. It's been taking up way too much time. I think I've been like nodding at that over the last week that it's taking up way too much time. I've barely gotten any tarot card painting done, so that needs to change for week 2. I think batching has been really good because getting a little bit ahead of each day just makes me feel a lot more prepared. I've already got tomorrow's prompt ready to go, and hopefully today I will paint 2 more. So yeah, getting ahead has been really helping. I would love to know how you guys have gone. Have you participated in the April Art Challenge? What have you learned? If you haven't participated but kind of want to, but you feel like the boat or the ship has sailed, do not worry, it's a whole new week. You can just, you know, start up now. I know I mentioned that each day kind of is consecutive and like builds upon the previous day, but I still think you can pop in at any moment. I'd love for you guys to jump on board and just, you know, start with a fresh new week. Get crack-a-lackin' with us. Week 1, I know I said it was going to be mark making, but there's no way that I could do 7 days of mark making. I just think after a certain point, it's not challenging. I also just don't get that much pleasure out of just mark making. I think it was really good for the first day. Second day, I was starting to crack already with mark making, so I dropped that pretty quick. What are some lessons that I've learned? I really liked layering. I'm gonna try and play and experiment with more layering. There's a lot of pages in here that I think aren't so great, and I'd like to just cover it up but still see the old piece underneath. There's something kind of romantic about lots of different paintings on the one page or on the one canvas. I mentioned before it's quite mysterious, but it kind of reminds me of like, it's a little romantic, you know, like I feel like I'm a Parisian pauper who's trying to paint and I'm running out of like art supplies. Come on, pauper fantasy. None of us are Van Gogh here, and I know he's not French either, but you know, get with the fantasy with me. I really like the mark making that I did on day 1 and the colors that I was playing with, so I'd like to revisit that a little bit more. With day 2, I learnt that I kind of went back into like uni mode. Uni as in university, it was just, we did a lot of mark making at fashion school, and then also we did a lot of fashion illustrations where they were like straight on. So I think that's why I particularly don't like that one. It feels very basic, and I feel like after all these years, I've evolved a little. I think the circle one, playing with that composition, has been really helpful for me. I've been wanting to play with abstracting portraits a lot more and kind of having a sense of fun play with composition. So I'd like to revisit that maybe possibly in the future. Same with square. I think having those 2 prompts as composition exercises has been really fun. I'd like to bring that into the tarot card deck eventually as well. I'll talk about that in future videos, but I do have a plan of like kind of doing something along those lines. The 2-color one, I think, obviously I didn't do that much for that one, the rose. It was a nice wake-up call for me to realize that I use color as a shield. It's like my comfortable spot. I think if I distract with color, I can kind of get away with being a little bit more boring, so I can get away with not the most inventive concepts because I do go overboard with color. So it was nice and humbling to be stripped back to 2 colors. I think that could be a cool challenge later on. 3 colors, I don't feel like I learned anything from that one. That was just purely fun. I think drawing a moth is really playful and fun for me. I do a lot of insects in my sketchbook, so I'd like to build a lot more insects just because I like having the image of being able to use it for branding purposes. Rainbow, so day 7, the last day, I had a lot of fun with this one. I think I've been wanting to bring in more like shapes and really sharp, obvious blocky shapes. I've been wanting to bring more of a design aspect into my paintings in future, so that's something that I'd like to build on. There's something really fun about really peeling back, going to the basics of shapes when you are learning your fundamentals in art, and also it kind of complements like building blocks when you're a child and you're learning to play in that sense. There's something so nostalgic, comforting, solid. Just, I'd like to play with that idea a lot more in the future. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. That was week 1. I hope it was really interesting seeing the way I go about playing around with my sketchbook. Sketchbook time is playtime, so Don't forget that. Really forcing those ideas onto the page, because you can have an idea, but ideas need to be developed, and popping them in a sketchbook is really the way to start. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was interesting, and yeah, make sure you subscribe so you can see the following weeks. There's a lot of art going along behind the scenes here, so I'm just trying to like give you guys lots of content while we are stuck in Quasar. Yeah, subscribe and like the video. Let's get the video to like 500 likes. If you want to support the channel, you can head over to Patreon. We will be going on a new Patreon adventure soon. And yeah, head over to my Instagram at Zeke's Lunchbox and join the Facebook group. Here's the password. Basically just stalk me. It's all in the description below. Okay, that is it from me, you guys. Week 1 done. Thanks for watching.